and one of the most significant fights of the year. Listen, it's a grudge match that goes back well over 5 years. You know, and sometimes in this business we use hyperbole to describe, hype a fight up. We call it bad blood. Two fighters can't stand each other. I think it's really only appropriate that we're here in Los Angeles, Hollywood, because not even Hollywood can script the hostility between both of these fighters. There is no hyperbole here for this fight. The animus between these two guys is real. And let's be honest, when you have that kind of hostility, it can produce iconic, great fights. I'm talking Ali Frazier. I'm talking Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, Leonard Duran, recently, Fury, Wilder. But more importantly, Benavidez versus Plant is a marquee matchup. It is a true test of both fighters at the very elite level. And with Canelo trying to hold on to all four of them belts, without a doubt, this is the very best fight that can be made right now at 168 pounds. And it all comes your way Saturday, March 25th, in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and on the undisputed King of Boxing Showtime pay-per-view. The broadcast will begin at 9 p.m. Eastern, at 6 o'clock Pacific time. The fight is being brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. It's being produced and distributed by Showtime Pay-Per-View, and it's being promoted by TGB Promotions and Samson Boxing. I know what you want to know. Tickets on sale, and you can get your tickets now at AXS.com. I would get them now, get them early, because they're selling. AXS.com. Let me introduce one of the promoters of this fight. He's the president of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. And people like to say the big fights never get made. That's just not true with PBC and Showtime. This is the type of fight that makes this sport the greatest sport in the world. Saturday, March 25th is going to be an incredible night. This is what we're all in the game for fights like this, for wars like this to get made. There's nothing more exciting than seeing two fighters in their prime slugging it out. And that's what this is all about. We all remember the great fights. Brian mentioned some of them, of the past that we just loved watching, the Diego Corrales, Castillos, the Gotti Wards, and so many other just classic brawls that left us wanting for more. And I believe that this fight between Caleb Plant and David Benavidez will be added to that list of epic brawls between two warriors taking things to a whole nother level. This fight will be a candidate for Fight of the Year, if not the Fight of the Year in 2023. This is a fight you don't want to miss. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Let me bring to the podium now one of the men who was certainly very instrumental in bringing this mega fight to fruition. He's the president of sports, event programming for Showtime Network, Mr. Steven Espinoza.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate Brian coming cross country. He's one of the busiest men in sports television nowadays. You can see him on just about every network, but we're thrilled that he's been a part of Showtime Championship Boxing for so long. I'm going to be brief. As Brian said, you can usually tell the quality of a fight because it's inversely proportional to the amount of hype and hyperbole that people say. The harder people try to convince you that it's an excellent fight, the more likely it's not. Well, I'm not going to try and convince you anything, because if you know anything about boxing, you know this is one of the very best fights that can be made in the sport. The consensus number 1 and number 2 contenders in this division. This is a high-stakes matchup, personally and professionally. There's a personal rivalry here. There is bragging rights here. There is supremacy in the division at stake. As Brian mentioned, the pay-per-view will be distributed by Showtime Pay-Per-View, start time of 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. There will be an all-access, of course. The Emmy Award-winning series will premiere on March 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Just a couple of words about these two fighters. David Benavidez, called the Mexican Monster by none other than Mike Tyson. Some of the fastest hands in the heavier divisions and in the sport overall. This will be the 8th time he's fought on Showtime, and he's grown up on Showtime. He first caught our eye on ShowBox way back in 2015. Since then, he's fought on special editions, he's fought on championship boxing, and this will be his first appearance on a pay-per-view. He's been on the stage so long that it's easy to forget that he's only 26 years old. He's the youngest ever champion at 168 pounds at the tender age of 20 years old. And he is one of the most entertaining fighters in all the sport. As for Caleb, this will be his 3rd appearance on Showtime, his 2nd on Showtime pay-per-view. He is an excellent boxer, fundamentally solid, underrated power. He's coming off what, for many people, including CBS Sports and boxing scene, ranked as the 2022 knockout of the year. Highlight reel knockout of Anthony Durrell, a very durable Anthony Durrell. And if you have any doubts about Caleb Plant's power, go back and watch that highlight, and you won't. The last time Caleb fought on Showtime pay-per-view was a grueling 11-round fight against Canelo Alvarez. And there are many people who thought that he provided a blueprint. You know, the jab, the movement, frustrating Canelo in a way we haven't seen him frustrated very long. And it's that combination of skills and power that makes him a worthy adversary for David Benavidez. You know, as Tom says, and I've spoken about this before, it seems like many times in this sport, people want to pay more attention to the fights that don't get made than the fights that do. Well, this is an outstanding fight. And more importantly, neither one of these two fighters had to take it. This is not a mandatory, it's not an eliminator, it's not something that anyone had to be talked into. This is something that each of these two fighters wanted personally and professionally. And again, boxing got it right, as it often does. We'll see you March 25th. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. No bigger proponent and fan of the sport than Stephen Espinoza, of course, the president of our division. Grateful to have him here and to continue to put on fights like this. It's going to be a great year. And March 25th is going to be a great night. We're going to talk about the fight with both of these guys. These guys are both former champions. Talk with their team. Before we get into that, I want to acknowledge a couple of members who are here in the audience as well, and key members of the fight camp. I want to start with Richie Plant. I saw Richie, who is not only Caleb's father, his co-trainer. Richie Plant, if you could, just wave your hand for us. There he is. Here he is. Larry Wade, I saw Larry as well. Caleb's strength and conditioning coach. There he is. Good to see you, Larry. So I wanted to acknowledge those guys. Let's talk to the people up here on the podium and dive into this fight. I want to bring to the podium as well, give us a statement. He is the trainer right now, head trainer of Caleb Plant. Comes out of Philly. This guy was the trainer of the former unified champion of the world. He's known as Bread Man, Stephen Edwards.
How you guys doing today? Privileged to be in this spot. Get to showcase our hard work against a great fighter in David Benavidez. I feel like I got a great fighter in Caleb Plant. I'm just ecstatic to show what we've been working on March 25th. You know, everybody's talking about bad blood between Caleb and David, but you know, at the end of the day, these kids got to fight on March the 25th. So all of the bad blood, it really don't matter because they can settle it, you know, in about 7 weeks. And at the top level of boxing, we kind of all need each other to make money. You know, if we don't take these fights, we can't provide a certain kind of lifestyle for our family. So, you know, we already been in camp for a couple of weeks, and I just can't wait to go. I don't have much to say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brad Ben. Now to the Benavidez side of it. Bring here to the podium. This man, he's also the trainer. He's the manager of David Benavidez, and most importantly, his father, Jose Benavidez Sr.
Well, first of all, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here. I want to thank all the fans, the media, Sansom, our promoter, Picasso, also TGB, Al Heyman for this big opportunity. I'm just telling you guys, you know, this fight is going to be a good fight. You guys got to get your pay-per-view fight. Also, before I forget, I want to thank my team. We brought Memo Heredia to the team, my assistant coaches, Javi, Poncho, because I can't keep up with the Mexican monster. Getting hit too hard. So I need assistance, you know, and I have like about 4 assistants. I guarantee you guys are going to have a good fight, an exciting fight, May 25th. Don't miss it. Buy your pay-per-views because, guys, we're going to fuck this guy up. We're going to send him to a hospital. Thank you.
All right, then. But March 25th. We'll make sure we got that right. All right. Let me introduce the fighters. That's what y'all came here to see. Coming to the podium is a man who, you know, if you heard Steven describe him, sublime boxer. But don't let the smooth taste fool you now. He's got some pop. You can ask Jose Uzcategui. You can also ask Anthony Durrell. CBS Sports, boxing scene, knockout of the year. Just 30 years old, 22-1. He's got 13 knockouts. Of course, coming from the Ville, Nashville, but now living out of Las Vegas, he's known as Sweet Hands. Caleb Sweet Hands Plant.
What's going on, everybody? Want to thank Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas, my manager. Want to thank Steven Espinoza and Showtime. Thank everybody for coming out today. And we got a big fight on our hands, but that's good. That's what boxing needs, is big fights. And I want to be someone to help deliver that to the boxing world. I'm sure he does too. You know, coming off of an 11-month layoff after the Canelo fight, I could have chose somebody to get in the ring with that no one knew, some nobody, just some sparring session of a match. But, you know, I told my team I want to make the biggest fight possible. And that may not be the biggest fight out there, but give me the biggest fight possible. They came back to me with 2-time former world champ Anthony Durrell. And he was ranked high enough in the WBC to make that a 12-round, a WBC title eliminator. And you being the interim champ and that being a title eliminator means I fight him. That means we get it on next, right?
You were pressured. You didn't want to fight. That's why you got all those fucking demands.
Huh?
You got fucking pressure.
Who-
You didn't
who?
want to fight. What did you ask for? 22-foot boxing ring? Rival gloves?
No,
Blue
I didn't
corner? You want to come
I
as
didn't
the champion?
ask for
Who's the
rival
champion?
gloves. I didn't
David,
a-
the
I didn't ask
Mexican
for
monster is
rival
the
gloves.
champion. You want to come out as the champion.
Yeah. David said, let me talk.
You a
So
bitch.
being a 12-round, a title eliminator, that means I know I'm next in line to fight for the interim champ, which is David. And so going into the Darrell fight, I knew what was happening next. I knew the plan. And so, the narrative of me being pressured or bullied or cornered into, having to fight him, it's not the case. I knew going in, hey, 12-round title eliminator, that means interim belt next. And, the winner of this fight becomes Canelo's mandatory for the WBC world title. So I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm in the fight that I want. In 2017, when David beat Ronald Graville, I was waiting, right at the bottom of the stairs saying, hey, let's make it happen. Let's do it. In 2019, I win a world title. 2020, me and my team, we reach out to Samson and say, hey, would you guys like to make something happen? He said, no, it's not time yet. We need to let that fight marinate. We need to let it, stay on the shelf for a minute, build it up, whatever. I don't know his intentions. So I go off on my mandatories. In the meantime, he loses his belt for a second time. And then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, let's fight. Well, I got the Canelo fight on the line now. So why would I toss that away to fight you? I don't know if you're going to show up on weight. I don't know if you're going to, I don't know what's going to happen. So why would I throw that chance away to fight for Undisputed, to fight a future Hall of Famer, to fight someone, one of the biggest fights in boxing? That's why we're in this, right? To have the biggest fights. So that's the fight I took, the Canelo fight. And March 25th, you ain't got to worry about me pulling out.
Show up.
I'm going to show up.
Take care of those fragile hands.
Yeah.
Okay, show up.
Because remember, this ain't my first big fight.
We want to see you.
This ain't my first
Show
one.
up.
I've been here before, and I've done it.
Show up.
And when I show up on weight, and I don't test positive for cocaine neither. So don't worry about me
Been knocked
showing
the
up.
fuck out already, but Canelo put you
Don't-
to sleep. That's
don't-
exactly what I'm gonna do to you too.
Hey,
Well,
at
you're fucking
at the highest level,
at
great
the
fighters
highest level,
fight
you
great
still hit
fighters.
like a bitch. You got 13 fucking knockouts
Say
already.
what?
Fucking fight. You hit like a little bitch.
Ask Anthony
Well,
Durrell.
what
What I do to Anthony Durrell?
Let him finish. Let him finish. It's all right.
Chill out.
Let him finish.
Finish what the fuck you gotta say.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
Finish what you gotta say.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
You're scared. You're scared. Look at you.
It's
You're
a lot
scared.
of tough guy, rah stuff.
Yeah,
even
these fucking guys, he
e-
fucking looks like he's about to cry. Look at his fucking eyes. I know a pussy when I see one.
yeah. Even his dad, Senior, he calls all types of fighters bitches and pussies. And,
I respect
you know,
everybody. You're a bitch.
you
I respect
may-
everybody.
You may, you may hear banter between fighters. You may even hear a fighter say something like, "I've never lost to a white boy, and I'm not about to start now."
Who the fuck said
We-
that? When did I
Anthony
ever fucking
Durrell?
say that?
I'm
Am I
not-
Anthony Durrell?
I'm not talking
Am
about
I
you.
Anthony Durrell? So don't bring that up. Like if I'm the one saying that shit too.
I didn't say you said that.
Finish what the fuck you gotta say.
Then shut
Let
the
me-
fuck
let me
up and
get-
quit
what
interrupting.
you wanna do?
Go ahead and finish.
You fucking crazy? What you wanna do?
Go ahead and finish.
What you wanna do? Yeah, we could have got outside the fucking hotel. You're a fucking pussy. You had all these fucking people with you.
This dude ain't scared.
You ain't serious. That's what, man.
He,
All right.
he's so mad.
So mad. I'm about to beat the fuck
He's
out
so
you.
mad. You're not gonna do
I'm about
nothing.
to beat the fuck out this pussy right here.
So, anyways,
That's why guys don't have no fucking
you hear
mouth.
Jose
You guys
Senior.
are
He
talking
calls fighters
low
bitches and
fucking
pussies,
bitch.
and you may hear that between fighters, but you don't normally hear boxing coaches talking like that. And the reason you don't really hear that is because a lot of boxing
I
trainers,
think you should hurry up.
they've been in the ring.
You gotta go run, brother.
They've been in the
You gotta
ring.
go
They
run.
fought before.
Go exercise so you can
but
run.
you've never
They're gonna
fought.
close the fucking track.
You've never made that walk. You never had to lace up a pair of gloves to feed
You're
your
a
family.
bitch.
You don't know what it's
You're
like.
a bitch.
So
Sit
it's
down.
easy for you to toss those
You're a
words around
bitch.
because you've never had to do it.
You're a bitch.
You never had to do
You're
it.
scared. Look at you. You want to cry.
Yeah, I want to cry. So anyways, March 25th, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in shape. I'm going to be on weight. I ain't going to be on cocaine. And I'm going to whoop his ass.
Just show up.
Thank you, Caleb.
Should have brought your glasses so we could slap you in the face.
Get on right here. We can get on right here.
Ready?
Right here. Why you whispering? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why you whispering? Talk to me like a fucking man. Pussy.
All right, now, coming to the podium. It's fine. They're fine. Coming to the podium. Unbeaten. He's 26-0, 23 knockouts. He is the former two-time WBC super middleweight champion of the world. He has been nicknamed the Mexican Monster. He is David Benavidez.
First of all, I want to thank God because without him, none of this is possible. Secondly, I want to thank Al Heyman, Samson Lukowicz, Lisa Kubas, my father, Jose Benavidez, and David Garcia. This has been a fight in the making for the past 5 years, and I couldn't have come at a better time. I'm at my best right now, mentally and physically. There's been a lot of shit talking going back and forth, but on March 25th, I get to put hands on Caleb Plant. And trust me when I say I'm going to beat the fucking living shit out of you, pussy. I'm going to beat the living shit out you. Yo, yeah, and then when you're in the fucking ground bleeding from your fucking mouth, you're going to realize how to respect a real fucking monster. That's real. What? I'm scared because I'm fucking...
David, leave him alone. He's about to cry.
This dude, man, he has 13 knockouts. He thinks just because he knocked fucking Anthony Durrell out, that's supposed to be something to me. I beat the shit out of Anthony Durrell when I was 23 years old. I was champion before you. I got 3 fucking belts right now. Man, I'm what you want to fucking be. You a fucking chump. You ain't nothing. And watch, March 25th, mark my words, I'm going to put this motherfucker in the hospital.
All right. All right, guys, let's get in. Let's just talk about the fight here. David, I'll come to you first. Significant fight in this weight division. Tell us, from your perspective, how did this fight get made? Because we've been waiting for so long.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Well, this fight, it happened at the right time. He had a sensational win with Anthony Durrell. I take nothing away from that. And I feel like it was a right move to make for both of us. We both needed a step up in class. I've been wanting to fight him for a long, long time. And then now they made the winner of this fight the mandatory for Canelo. So it couldn't come at a better time. I'm super motivated right now. I'm pumped and I can't wait.
Caleb, you kind of gave us a good timeline. And we hear, and look, we see. It's not like, look, Stephen Wonder can see you guys don't like each other. But I think the question I think most boxing fans want to know, when did the bad blood start? How did it start?
Well, I think, just natural. David's obviously one of the top in the division. I'm obviously one of the top in the division. And, just agreeing to disagree on who's better, I believe is how it started. He thinks he's better than me, and that's fine. He should feel like that. What great fighter doesn't feel like he's the best? And, I feel the same way. Then it slowly just starts to build over time. And, when it kind of became more than just regular fighter-to-fighter banter, going back and forth is when, he started bringing up, my daughter Aaliyah's name and Senior I'm talking about. And, even like liking pictures of social media of me and my daughter Aaliyah in the hospital bed, just different things like that. And once it got to that, it was like past, oh, I'm better than you, or, you can't beat me, I'll beat you up. Once you start bringing someone's kids into it and, people's wives or anything like that, to me, that's past the point of return.
Just to get that clear, you got to check out. You got to go check the internet about your life. I didn't make that shit up, man. I got respect for your daughter. I have kids. You got to stop that shit, bro. You check out his story life, and you'll see what he's talking about. I didn't make that shit up.
David, we've heard you, obviously up here saying what you were going to do. You were quoted in the boxing scene by saying, quote, I'm going to break his effing mouth, and I guarantee you I am going to spark knock him out. But you also told E! News, Ellie Setback, quote, I'm going to give him the worst beating he's ever had, and his corner is going to have to stop the fight. And I'm going to enjoy watching him quit on the stool like a bee. So I guess which one is it? Are you going to knock him out?
When I did that interview with Ellie, it was 2 weeks ago. Now, I wake up feeling different every day. But I feel like, for me, what the fans want to see, they want to go in there and they want to see a knockout. And he could try to act like I'm not like that, but look at my record. 26-0, 23 knockouts. Look at everybody how they look after I fight them. They're beat the fuck up. His partner in training. And I don't want to be a dick either because I love Kyron and Davis, but I don't when I get up in here, I don't play around. They know what I am. I'm the Mexican monster, and this is exactly what I do. And he's no fucking different. He's no different from any other fighter I fought. So he's going to see March 25th.
Caleb, you guys have certainly had back and forth on social media. And you said, quote, there are wolves and there are sheep. And if you don't know which one you are, then you aren't a wolf. Explain to us what you were talking about when you said that to David.
No. That's not what I said to David. That was just you know, a caption on an Instagram post of me on it. That had nothing to do with David. That's just for life in general, you know. In life, if you want to succeed, you got to be a wolf. And there's a wolf and there's sheep. And if you don't know which one you are, then you probably aren't a wolf. So
David he's repeated a number of things that, you know, Jose Uzcategui, I remember him saying about you. Anthony Durrell said the same thing about you, that, look, all this guy's going to do is run around the ring.
I'm not Uzcategui, and I'm not Anthony Durrell either.
You knocked Uzcategui down a couple of times. We saw what you did to Anthony Durrell. What does David Benavidez need to know about Caleb Plant and the power he has in his hands on March 25th?
Just, you know, March 25th, I'm coming. I'm going to be fully prepared. And I've been at this level before. I've done this before. And I know what it takes. And so, you know, from now till March 25th, it's really just about who can train the hardest from now till then and who can keep their foot on the gas without taking it off during camp.
Hey, but he know how the canvas feel, too, so I'm going to put him back on that motherfucker.
What'd he say?
Oh, so you don't know how the canvas feels. You ain't been laid out before.
Canvas.
The canvas. Now you don't fucking understand or what?
I mean, I don't know. I can't understand what you're saying. The canvas. What about it?
You're going to be laying down.
Okay. You've been on the fucking floor already, so I'm going to put you back on the floor.
And you've been on the canvas, too. You got dropped by Ronald Graville.
I didn't get fucking put to sleep like you.
I wouldn't put to sleep. I got back up.
You got knocked the fuck out in front of everybody.
Hey, I got back up.
You're talking about you don't know if you're a fucking wolf or a sheep, motherfucker. You've been on the floor. You a sheep.
No,
so what are you talking about? You ain't no fucking wolf.
Sheep don't get to sit up here.
You a fucking sheep, bro.
Sheep don't get to sit up here.
One of the things.
That motherfucker's so hurt. He thinks he won that fight with
And you aren't a sheep.
Jose.
Hey, David, and you aren't a sheep either. I don't think you're a sheep.
One of the things
Sheep
that
don't get to sit up here on the stage. I know you're a wolf. I'm a wolf too. And yeah, you've touched the canvas. I touched the canvas. I know I got stopped, but I got right back up.
You got knocked out.
And I wanted to continue, but hey, you know, the ref did his job. It was a good stoppage. And, you know, I tip my hat to Canelo. He's a great fighter, but
one of the things
that's not no knock on me.
Yeah, one of the things that Jose talked about, and you can address this too, Caleb, is, you know, he said, listen, Caleb Plant wanted a bigger ring. We've agreed to give him a bigger ring. Tell us why, if that's true.
Well, yeah, you know, after the fight with Durrell, I knew that it was time to move forward and make the fight with David. And if, you know, we couldn't get that done, I was trying to step to Charlo and see if we could make that happen as well. Luis said, what would it take?
What does that have to do with the bigger ring? What does you trying to fight Charlo have to do with
I'm getting to
a bigger ring?
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
How about if I would have said no to a blue corner? You know, I said yes to everything. They're like asking, saying,
these guys
you can ask
just
David.
like
I said,
Durrell,
no, fucking David doesn't give a fuck. He'll take whatever. He just wants to get you in the fight, on the ring.
Got it. Go ahead. Answer it.
Okay. And, you know, he said, what would it take to make that fight happen? I gave him a list of some things that I thought that, you know, I wanted to have. And within like a day or two, he came back and he said, done deal. And, you know, even from Jose Sr.'s side and David's side, he said as soon as they came to him with those negotiations, he just immediately, you know, said yes to everything because he thought I was giving, you know, trying to get out of something or something like that. But, you know, if you're going to, as soon as they bring something to you, just say yes to everything. That's not really a negotiating tactic. So
you got pressure.
It's not my problem that you said, it's not my problem that you said yeah to everything as soon as they brought it to you. And, you know, I said, hey, what about a 22 by 22 foot ring? What about it being in Las Vegas? As far as the rival gloves, you wear rival gloves every fight.
What about if I would have said no to blue corner?
I had no request for you to wear a certain glove, or I'm wearing Grants. So if I had a request, I would make you wear the same gloves as me. I wouldn't make you wear different gloves than me. So that don't make no sense. So as far as the gloves, I ain't got no idea about that. My contract says a glove of your choice.
David, how important is this fight to this weight division and to the sport in general?
This is the most important fight in my career to this day. I feel like after this fight, I'm going to just pass that threshold and get to where I wanted to be. The goal I had for myself when I was a little kid, when I said I wanted a pay-per-view star, that's what's going to happen after this fight. And I feel like every fighter has one of these fights, one of the grudge matches that really brings the best out of them. And I know I don't like Caleb Plant at all, but I want to thank him, too, for bringing this animal out of me because this is the hardest I've ever worked. I've been training like a fucking animal, and I'm very excited, and I'm happy to show. I'm gonna be happy to show the people and give all my fans a good knockout because this is gonna be a hell of a fight. It's not gonna be easy, but we're definitely gonna go in and we're gonna get the knockout.
And I know you've been training because obviously for the Uzcategui fight, at one point you were going to fight him. any fear of overtraining? Because you've been in camp for a long time, it seems like.
Well,
here.
you have to, I mean, if you're a professional boxer, this is my profession. I mean, I don't put a lot of stuff on Instagram, but I'm always training. I only take 3 weeks after my fight, and I train. You know, as a fighter, I've been professional 10 years. You have to know when to push it up and when to pull it down. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's no fear of overtraining at all.
Do you believe, and I know that has come out, do you believe Caleb's been spying on your camp?
He's been looking at my guy's fucking Daniel Blanca's his dad's story. He looks at my videographer Jeremy's story, and then his photographer started following them. So I mean, if we're gonna fight each other, I'm not gonna go look at his stuff. Why am I gonna look at his stuff?
Caleb, I'll ask you the same questions. Ask him. How important is this fight to the 168-pound division and to the sport?
It's super important. You know, me and David have both been at the top of the division for, some time now. And, the time and now, kind of how he said, perfect timing. And I also think it's important for the sport in general to let these other guys know, don't be scared to let it all hang out. Big fights is what boxing's about. And, it's about legacy. And this is a legacy fight for me and my team. And that's going to lead us to bigger and better things. So, I couldn't be more excited.
Lastly, we'll wrap it up with this. Caleb, we'll start with you. In Las Vegas, Showtime pay-per-view, for all the people who will pay their hard-earned money, buy tickets, buy the fight, what can you guarantee that they're going to get on March 25th when you step in the ring with David Benavidez?
They're going to get a hell of a fight. I mean, again, I've never said David's a bad fighter. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I'm not interested in fighting bad fighters. I want to fight good fighters. I want to make big fights happen. And this is the biggest fight in the division that can be made. So I'm excited to do that. March 25th, I see myself getting my hand raised.
David, you get the final word. For all those people coming out to the MGM Grand Garden Arena, paying their hard-earned money to Showtime pay-per-view to watch this fight, what can you guarantee they're going to get on March 25th?
March 25th, I guarantee you I'm going to knock Caleb Pound out before round 6. Guaranteed.
There you have it, folks. It is one of the most significant fights of the year. It goes down on Showtime pay-per-view March 25th, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 6 o'clock Pacific time from the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Get your tickets now for David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, 2 former world champions going at it at 168 pounds. Guys, if you would, you could just have a stand right there. You can stand right there and we'll just stand, face there, face those cameras. That's it. Just face the cameras and so we can get a good picture here. That's it. It's what people want to see. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, the 2 top guys at 168 pounds on Showtime pay-per-view, March 25th. From the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you for watching. We'll see you March 25th in Las Vegas and on Showtime pay-per-view.